Welcome to Star Station, spawning in the top left position of the map as the red Zerg player. He's currently down 0-2 in this best of 7, the grand finals of the numericable Millennium House Cup. From Team Evil Geniuses, it is Jaedong. And his opponent in the bottom right position, spawning as the blue Zerg player from Team Samsung Galaxy Con, it is Solar. So, Solar has wowed and dazzled us with a 2-0 lead over arguably one of the best Zerg versus Zerg players in the entire universe. Not just Earth, not just this planet, but all throughout the Caprulu sector and wherever else you may, I don't know, infest people. But yeah, it's been good. It's been good, and it's funny because we've actually had a lot of clean sweeps in this tournament. We've had 3-0s, 3-0s, 3-0s. Pretty much both semifinals were 3-0s actually. As I recall, there was one win maybe, I think, for 4GG against Jaedong. But yeah, pretty much just straight sweeps all across the board. So while this may be a 2-0, Jaedong is good enough to bring this match back at basically any point, which I think is important to keep in mind because Solar still has a lot of work cut out for him. This is not easy mode. This is not, oh, you're up 2-0, here you can pull out this weird build that your karate teacher taught you while you were washing his car. No, you still have to do what is normal. You'll still have to play out the game. Play it as it lies. Jaedong's gone hatch first, into gas, into pool, and we have still no gas from Solar. Solar's really been favoring this gasless style. In fact, most of this tournament, he actually didn't go completely gasless. It was actually a lot of Curious going gasless in ZVZ from what I remember. But Solar has been able to mix it up, and I think he's doing this to play to Jaedong's tendencies. And it's really weird to say that because Jaedong, I think originally in StarCraft 2 was one of those players that would do the standard, In fact, as I recall, in the beginning of Heart of the Swarm, especially the end of Wings of Liberty, ZVZ, if you guys watched Pro League or anything like that, where obviously Jaedong was, playing, ZVZ almost every single game it was you opened hatch, get hatch, pool, and then you took your gas. Depending, a little bit variations, of course. Some people would go pool first, but it generally came down to Zergling micro and Baneling micro. And a lot of players have started to steer away from that, or at least as much as they can. There are still a lot of players that do it. But we've been seeing these Koreans, if they can go gasless, they go for it. And Jaedong is the kind of player that, if you go gasless versus him, he's less likely than other players to do something like a very fast Speedling or Speed Baneling all in. Now, Jaedong did go for the fast speed attack on Whirlwind, but I feel like that was mostly a meta decision. He's one of those guys that, even if he does do that kind of attack, he still finds a way to be greedy in some weird way behind it. And it did lose him the game on Whirlwind, but he's been getting his layers very quickly and all other sorts of things. But this game, he is opening up with that Baneling Nest. He is getting speed. So this is that very, very, very standard core setup for ZVZ. Banelings will deal with Zerglings. Zerglings will deal with, pretty much anything else. And Solar gets one of Jaedong's Overlords. Pretty nice. But, yeah, Solar's now taking the 2 extractors. He's building a Spine Crawler in his natural. And Jaedong's moving out some Zerglings. Why? Well, his speed's about to finish. This queen is probably just walking out to try to get an Overlord, but he's going to take this third base, too. Very greedy play by Jaedong. And it's interesting that he's doing this because he has a couple Zerglings on the map, and he wants to just put pressure and deny. And he scouts, okay, well, actually he doesn't see the gas in the natural yet. He'll see, oh, no gas in the main base. He wants to deny information from Jaedong. That's why those drones were trying to hop on top of everything. But he should be able to get a read that there's gas in the natural. He comes down, there he sees it. So Jaedong knows, at least knows about one of them. But you never build gases, you never build just one gas that late. So Jaedong's not able to kill the Overlord, but he shoves it back. And shoves it so back far enough that it's unlikely Solar will see this fast third, which may have been more so why he attacked it, rather than to try to get an early kill. Jaedong, oh, he canceled that Baneling Nest. Jesus. Jaedong, oh my god, I thought you were about to build a second Baneling Nest. He does weird stuff. See, like, he just builds this layer. He's like, you know what, it's okay. He built the Baneling Nest, and he's like, you're gasless. I'll cancel it, no big deal. And his third base is going to be done really, really soon. So what he wants to do, or at least what it seems that Jaedong wants to do, and it's funny that he built this Baneling nest, actually, because it's the last time that he thought it was going to be a roach play, he got mass speedling all in. So that's why he's going to keep this here, just in case. But there's more Zerglings going out to check and scout. And this creep spread keeps making me feel that eventually Solar likes to bring his queens with his roach pushes. And he's already put down an Evo chamber to block himself off. Because he's scared. He's like, oh, I don't know how many Zerglings Jaedong's making because my Overlord got pushed off. But his Overlord did eventually get into C this third base. Important to note. Spire is on the way for Jaedong. And this is how Jaedong plays ZVZ. In all the ZVZs that we've seen him play, I think, in this tournament, he has built his open Mutalisks and then transitioned to something else. So we saw, I think, one of the cooler games. I think it was Jaedong versus Curious at the beginning of today's semifinals, where Jaedong went for a fast Spire, only built like 7 Mutalisks, and then straight switched right into Roaches. And it was really cool to see because Jaedong can do this thing where he either plays really heavy Mutalisks or he just switches back and forth. And it's funny, I'm really harping on a lot of what Jaedong does, but Solar is just, right now this game, Solar is just playing a very, very, very standard. There's nothing special or flavorsome about this build that Solar's doing, and not to discredit him or, you know, make it sound like he's boring or more interested in Jaedong, but he's just playing so standard. There's not really much else to say. He's just building roaches, getting his upgrades, and taking a normally timed third base. This cancel is very nice from Jaedong. Great force with those Zerglings. And Jaedong actually did a great job of denying the third base of Curious in his matches earlier today, which I think was, you know, paramount to his eventual victory. At the time Jaedong took any roach fights, actually, in both of his games earlier today, the supply was something like, goodness, he was up like 60 or 70 supply. So, another Zergling for Jaedong sneaks into the main base. He gets a read on what's going on in here. He's trying to make sweet love to one of these drones, but alas, his heart and his, body is broken. And Solar builds a Nidus network. So now Solar is starting to shake things up a little bit. And it's interesting because, I mean, you have the creep spread out here, right? So that helps the queens move out. But it's not necessarily important for anything along the lines of, say, Nidus. It doesn't have anything to do with Nidus. Nidus, what would you need this creep spread for? You can jump straight across the map. Of course, he can still use it if the Nidus gets denied. But it's just, things to note. And I like that he's also building Spore Crawlers behind this, because I don't think he saw the Spire. No. He can still be defensive about it. He still doesn't have to worry about Mutalisk counterattacks. And he has an Infestation. Oh. Did he cancel the Nidus? Okay, he canceled. Never mind. I got my hopes up. See, that's why the creep spread was there. I'm kind of wondering I'm wondering what situationally made him do that. I think it was probably his lack of being able to get any vision up there. He sent like one roach to the left and the Zerglings found it. So, pretty much completely eliminated any possibility of Nidus play. Just because he didn't really have anywhere to place it. The Overlords were killed by the Mutalisks. So, Solar still has a good number of queens. He's got roaches. And those queens are hanging tough. But Jaedong, he's only actually built this game 10 Mutalisks. And it doesn't look like he's going to build any more. This is forcing Spore Crawlers. It's giving him the ability to micro and make a very small number of units do a lot of damage. So, the Mutas are going to dash around a little bit. The Infestation Pit will clear soon for Jaedong. But Solar is already getting the Infestors out. His Pathogen Glands is going to be done relatively soon, right in time for these Infestors. And his 2-2 is actually significantly ahead of Jaedong's, which is, well, it's not quite as far along. So, the Mutas are coming out, attacking these roaches, getting some free hits. Really, really nice play. Transfusing the roach. And let's see. Oh, a little Zergling run by towards the right side. Jaedong was able to hold this tower, so now you can try to run in the mineral line and get some kills. Maybe a drone or two would be pretty nice. Yeah, he's going to hold position in the mineral line, trying to kill some workers. And this is just some good, clean harass by Lee Jaedong. He's already managed to pick off, it seems, 4 drones. And it doesn't really seem like a lot, but actually 5 drones is nice. It's something, because Zerglings are pretty much used to... Oh, God, what? Jaedong's building swarm hosts. Okay, so this game could get funky. He's going to play with swarm hosts, which means we could have a very long game on our hands, guys. Because you know what? Mutual assured destruction reads that if you nuke me, I nuke you. And that's kind of how it works with swarm hosts, because there's not too many things you can do unless you have some sick Gosu positioning to fight against swarm hosts than make your own. And this game could get awkward. I don't know. I've actually not seen too many Zerg players go swarm hosts recently. Maybe he doesn't need to build his... Maybe he doesn't actually need to build his own swarm hosts. But this game could get funky. This roach will come in and sees other roaches. But Jaedong's actually moving these swarm hosts out really, really close. He's going to try to do a siege with these swarm hosts. And I feel like that's a bit brave. But... Oh, nope. That one's swarm host. It's getting separated from the pack. Now the locust waves begin to descend upon the Zerg forces. He fungals the mutalisks too, which is really, really nice. All these mutas are going to die. Oh no, they're still alive. Okay. Big roach counterattack is coming in, and Jaedong, I mean, the swarm hosts aren't in position. His roaches are kind of holding him in place. He's bringing the mutas back. Mutalisk health regen, man. Aliens. He's coming up, and oh, Jaedong. Oh goodness, those locusts, man, they actually move at the same speed as a Thor until they get on the creep, so they're quite slow. And this is making life really, really hard. The infestors, oh my goodness, the infestors for Solar getting grabbed by the locusts. And these roaches are inside the main base. There's a lot here for Solar. The mutalisks give some free damage, but they don't have any attack upgrades, so they don't hurt him quite as quickly. Oh man, this is tough. He fungals the swarm hosts. The locusts are enough to stop it, and Solar just GG's out. Wow. Solar threw away so much trying to attack Jaedong that he's just like, yes, that roach counterattack did not win me the game.